guys, it's time for my second favorite video of the year, and today we are going to be talking about all of my indie makeup favorites. I gotta be honest, this basket in front of me is making me so much more happy to look at than my mainstream favorites, because this is just like the fun stuff, you know? Like for mainstream, all of my favorites are just like boring kind of base products and stuff like that, that kind of stuff that indie brands don't really come out with. So all of the things in front of me here just make me so happy to look at, and I cannot wait to dig into these. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and start with, should I kind of save skincare for last, or should I start with that? Let's save that for last, because that's not really that exciting in my opinion. So let's go ahead and start. So these things are going to be in no particular order, just because they're a mess in here. So we're just gonna go ahead and start. Let's start with blushes. Why not? So I decided that in this favorites video, I was going to be very, very picky and not just be like, I like these blushes, I like these blushes, I like these blushes. I don't want to give like basically shout outs to every single indie brand that I like a blush from. Like I just want to show you my very top favorite of whatever kind that I'm talking about. So my favorite blushes of the year, this is without a doubt all of my wooden side blushes. I just cannot get enough of these. I was trying to pick out a color to show you, but I have all 6 of them and I love all 6 of them so much. They have 2 different formulas. They have one kind of more shimmery blush, but they're not super shimmery. They're just more of a satin finish. And then they also have their matte blushes. I really like both of them. For the one that I'm wearing today, I'm wearing the shade Water Lily, which is kind of like a very neutrally but easy to wear sort of blush. It looks kind of intimidating in the pan. This is one of the more satiny blushes, but as you can see, it's not really like luminous or anything like that. It's just beautiful. I love how these apply. I love how easy they are to work with. They can be built up to be very nice and intense, which I sometimes like a very, very blush heavy look, but you can also kind of share them out and use them a little more carefully. You know what I mean? Like, and I also just, I love the packaging. I love how small they are. I love how easy they are to store. I just love them. I think that they are fantastic. They are by far my favorite blushes that came into my collection this year. Also, I will link all the products that I'm talking about, and if I do have an affiliate code or anything like that, I will just leave it underneath the link so that you can see it, so I don't have to mention it for all of these products, because I'll be honest, I have codes with pretty much all of the brands. Well, not all of the brands, but a lot of the brands that I am talking about here, and I don't want to spend a ton of time like telling you what the codes are, so I'll just have them on the screen and down in my description box. I hope that's okay. Let's talk about some highlighters. We're just gonna kind of be jumping around here, but my favorite highlighters, I do actually have 2 brands to talk about, because these are the ones that I keep going back to over and over and over and over and over again, and every time I don't know what to wear, I always go for one of these 2 brands. So I gotta give credit to Kaleidos, because Kaleidos has some of the most amazing highlighters. I am wearing their new multi-chrome highlighter today, and I just think that it is so stunning, which is this one right here. This is the Prophecy highlighter. I haven't had this for that long. I did get these sent in PR as well. I haven't had these for that long. I think I've had this one now for a month or so, maybe a little bit less, I don't know, but I love this. I've used this so many times. This makes for such a beautiful inner corner shade as well. Absolutely love this. I also just want to tell you what my second favorite from them is, and that is definitely the Solar Sailor highlighter. This is I love me a yellow highlighter, but this is a yellow highlighter with a bit of a kind of a white base to it. I think that this is just, oh, it's just so beautiful, and it goes with so many different looks, especially the kind of looks that I do. I feel like having kind of like a goldy, yellowy highlighter just goes really nicely with it, and I just think it's beautiful. The formula is beautiful. It is on the glittery side. If you don't like that, you maybe probably wouldn't like these, but if you like a glittery highlighter, like the ones that I'm also going to be talking about afterwards, you are going to love these. And just overall, every single highlighter that I have from Kaleidos, I do have all of them because they have sent them all. I love them. I think that they are so nice. And since we're talking about highlighters, I might as well go ahead and mention my other favorites as well. This is a brand that you guys you're probably sick of me talking about this brand, but this is Bitterlace Beauty. Bitterlace Beauty is one of those brands that I made an order from them, was it last year? I think it was last year, for their Kaleidoscope highlighters, and it's these ones right here. I've actually ordered all of these myself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these ones I've ordered myself. 3 I ordered last year, and I just didn't end up using them when I first got them for some reason, and I haven't really gotten into them that much until this year, and I just fell in love. I think that these are so beautiful. I will give you some swatches as well. This one is my favorite. This is in the shade Electric, and then these I don't remember the names of, but all of these are their Kaleidoscope. I think they're called Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope Glow or something like that, but just give you some very quick swatches. I mean, do you see that? It's just absurd. Like, these are so intense. These are kind of like the like iridescent chameleons from Terra and the multichrome iridescent ones from Clionadh. They're like sort of similar, but these are more of a highlighting formula. They don't have as much of, not that the other ones have a base color, but I feel like these are more sheer, if that makes sense, which obviously for highlighter you don't want to have a metallic blue on your face. But these are my favorites from the brand. I love them so much, and also they smell delicious. They also were so kind to send me such a big package. Was it earlier this year or last year? I will link my swatch party video in the corner if you want to check that out. But they sent me a bunch of their other highlighters. These aren't even all of them, but these are the candy coated collection, which is also one of my favorites. I think that these are just so beautiful. Again, they smell, oh, they smell so sweet. They smell like candy and they're so stunning. So if you guys have been looking to support a smaller indie brand and you want to get some new highlighters, please check out Bitterlace Beauty. It's really cool as well because they are based in Vegas, which I am as well. And I'm so sad because we were planning, or I was planning to have lunch with the owners of Bitterlace Beauty like right before the pandemic happened, and then I literally canceled last minute because everything was starting to go crazy, and thankfully they were okay with it and they kind of liked that I canceled because they were thinking about canceling as well. But just so unlucky, such bad timing. Like, they seem like great people and a great brand, and I'm just so happy to have so many things from them because I absolutely love them. Let's move to bronzer, because I only have one in my list here, and these are also from Kaleidos. I have been really enjoying these contour palettes. I have all three. One I've put away in a drawer for like a giveaway or to give to someone else because it's too dark for me. But I have the two here in cool and light and warm and medium, and I love both of them. In the summer when I first got these, I was obsessed with this one. This is the warm and medium one, and I kept using this bronzer, and it was just the perfect bronzer for my skin tone when I had a bit of a tan. And now that it's coming into winter, I've been using the light and cool one, which looks like this. Again, this bronzer is beautiful when I don't have a tan. It is very, very sheer. It's very buildable. It's so easy to work with. You can't build it up to be like super intense, but if you like more of a subtle bronzer, I tend to sometimes go a little bit overboard with bronzer, so sometimes it's nice to have something that's not super intense, because I am the kind of person who's quite heavy-handed with my products in general, especially my face products. So for me, this is nice to kind of keep me on track, if you will, and not like go too crazy with it. So I love these so much. I can't really speak for like the contour powders and the highlighting powders in them though, because it's not really the kind of products that I use. I only use this as bronzer, but I really love it for that. Next thing I have to mention is not going to come as a surprise to anybody, but I do have to mention my Rephr brushes. I know I keep talking about them all the time. I always use them, but like, they are my favorites, and I thought that I could show you like my top 5 favorites because I don't think I've really done that. I mostly talk about their eyeshadow brushes because those are the ones that I tend to use in my videos all the time. I do obviously have some eyeshadow brushes in here. Actually, I have 6 brushes in here. I want to talk about the 2 face brushes that are my favorite. So first up we have the brush number 18. This is such a good brush for bronzer. That is how I use it. I love how I can get a very targeted, precise application with it. It's super nice and soft. It distributes product very, very nicely. It blends it out great. I just love how, like, I don't know, there's something about just like holding this brush and like applying product with it, and it just applies it like so seamlessly. I love this brush so much. It's one of my absolute favorites from them. I also have another brush here that I tend to use for blush, especially blushes that are more on the kind of buildable and sheer side that aren't super pigmented. I love using the number 5 brush. The number 5 brush is awesome. Like, I can really get a good application. I can put down the color where I want it to be and then really like gently blend it out, and it's just really, really nice. I know a lot of people use this one for bronzer as well. I personally find this a little bit too big for bronzer because I do like to use smaller brushes than most people use for their face products. So for me to use this as a bronzer, like it's bigger than where I put down my bronzer, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't be able to get the application that I want, but I love using this for blush. It's also great for sort of not shimmery blushes, but more sort of satiny blushes. It really blends them out and applies them beautifully. Love this brush as well. Let's talk about my eyeshadow brushes that I obviously like. Number 13, do I have to say anything else? Perfect little blending brush for hooded eyes or just small eyes in general. I can really get into my crease. I can really place color down before I start to blend it out and get a really nice application. It just blends out colors beautifully. I can use it under my eye, I can use it on my top. I love this brush. It's great for everything. Then we have the number 14 brush, which is basically just the same brush as the 13, but a little bit bigger. This one is great for times when I actually use a transition shade and I go in with my lightest shade first. Then I tend to reach for this brush. Normally I go in with my darkest shade first and then blend it out, which is why I like a smaller brush. But when I do use more of a transition shade, I definitely reach for the number 14, and I think it's really, really, really nice. A brush that I feel like nobody really talks about from Rephr is the P21. I don't know if this has changed name. I know this is a prototype. Maybe I shouldn't be mentioning this. I don't even know if this is for sale, but if it is, definitely look into picking this one up. This one is great for shimmers, and what I like about this brush is just how thin it is. Like, this is a great brush for when you've done a half cut crease or you're trying to do like a faux half cut crease, because you can really get like that very, very sharp line. You could probably use it to cut your crease as well. I don't usually use like natural hair brushes for that, but I feel like this would actually be quite nice for this. But I love using this for shimmers when I want to be precise. And it's not a scratchy brush, but it picks up kind of stubborn shimmers quite nicely just because of like the texture of it, and because not all the hairs are the same length. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you compare it to my MAC 242 brush that I normally use, you will see just how different they are and how much thinner my Rephr brush is. Like this one, I like using this one when I'm blending shimmers into my crease because it does have a little bit of like fluff on top, so I can use the edge of this brush to really get my shimmers to get a good gradient. But this one is just so nice for when I need more of a precise application. It is a great brush. And lastly, of course, I have to talk about my pencil brush. This is the number 3. I love this for my inner corner. It's just perfect. I sometimes get questions about what I use for my inner corner, and this is the brush that I use. I think this is just fabulous. Like, yeah, it's a very, very small brush, and like, do you need this? I don't know, but it's made my life so much easier. I love it for like brow bone highlight too, because I tend to not have a lot of room up here because I take my shadows up so high, and I also just don't have like that much room compared to other people's eyes because I have small eyes, so I need a small brush to apply. Does that make sense? I love this brush so much. And I also do want to say, I don't know if I ever mentioned this in videos, but I do have a link down below where you can get 20% off single brushes from Rephr. So if you just click the link, it will just apply like 20% off any brush you want. A lot of the time when I talk about them is because they're having like certain promotions and stuff, and it's been a little confusing for me, like the promotions that they've had and the different links, and it's just a lot of like different things going on at all times. But I do have a separate link where you can just get 20% off the single brushes if you want. So of course everything will be linked down below in my description box as always. So let's go ahead and move into what do I want to talk about next. I need to talk about this. This is something that I meant to put into my mainstream favorites, and I'm pretty sure this would be qualified as a mainstream brand, and this is Lime Crime. Lime Crime has to be a mainstream brand, right? Because they're sold at Ulta. I'm not really sure, honestly, but I just wanted to mention a Freckle pen because I forgot to mention it, and I just love this. Like, this is my favorite Freckle product, and I use it all the time, and I still have some left in this. I feel like I've had this for a while, and I've used it quite a lot. I've had this more than 6 months now. Definitely don't use it every time I do my makeup, but this is in the shade Amber. It's what I'm wearing today. It's what I've been wearing every single time I've done my freckles lately. Can't get enough of this. I just think that like faux freckles are so cute. I know some people hate them, but most of the people who hate them are the ones who have them naturally. So like, it makes sense. You always want what you don't have, but I love this little thing, and I'm just excited to keep using it because I love it. Next product is something that I don't really use like that often, but I do really love them when I use them, and these are my liners from JD Glow. I have the neon and the pastel bundle, and these are just so fun as a bit of a like an accent if you're doing maybe a neutral look, or you just want something like maybe a little line in your crease, or like a little detail, or like little dots, or just something fun. These are awesome. Like, these are really, really, really nice. I was surprised at how much I love these. They are a little bit tricky to work with just because of the applicator. The applicator is like, it's very, very thin, and you don't get that much product on it, but look at that pigmentation. Like, isn't that just so cool? Like, I love these. I don't usually wear them as like eyeliners. Like, I don't really do like a line up top with these like I would with, you know, regular eyeliners. These are more for like fun detail work for me, but I think that these are just so fun, and I've had these for quite some time now, and they're still holding up great. So I would say that there's probably quite a long shelf life on these. I mean, okay, so it says 24 months. That totally makes sense. I've heard some people say that their multi-chrome liners go bad quicker. I'm not sure, but I really, really like these. And if you've been looking to add something like a little fun to your collection, maybe pick up one of these if you plan on ever making an order from them, because they're really, really nice. On the topic of eyeliners, I do have to mention these, and you probably already know it, but these are the gel liners from Lethal Cosmetics. I have all of them. It was so funny when they first reached out to me when they were launching these. They asked me like, so which colors would you like to try? And I was like, all of them. Because it's just such a fun product, and it's something that I've been wanting for such a long time, but like no brand really came out with like fun, colorful gel liners, and it was just so fun to see an indie brand come out with something like this. And the formula is just fantastic. Like these dry down to such a good finish that they're just not budging. Like they are not going to budge whether you put them on your top lid, if you use them as a base, if you put them in your waterline. Like these will last. Even if you have runny eyes, you have watery eyes, you have sensitive eyes, these are perfect. These are my favorite two colors. This one is in the shade Equalize. It's the green. Can you tell I like green? And then my second favorite color is in the shade Stereo, which is the yellow. I love having a yellow waterline. I love having a green waterline. These are wonderful. Like I said, all of their colors are great. I have them all. I would highly recommend all of them. They're just really, really solid eyeliners, and they're super fun. Let's move into a couple of lip products. I have two different formulas that I want to talk about from indie brands, and the first one is something that's like quite new to my collection. I did get these sent in PR, but these are from Linda Halberg, and it is the Latex Fever liquid lipstick. You've seen me wear these in quite a few videos. This is my favorite. This is the more nude one. This is in the shade Dusty Pink Latex, or Dusty Pink, I guess just Dusty Pink. So basically what these are is they're opaque glosses that kind of dry down to not a transfer proof finish. I know they say that, but that definitely hasn't been the case for me, but they definitely dry down, and they're very long lasting for being like a gloss formula. And I just love how opaque, I love opaque glosses, can I just say that? But I love how comfortable these are. These aren't sticky at all, and they just look so nice on your lips. Like I really feel like they make your lips look plumper. And I know glosses in general will do this, but these just, I feel like they just look so good on the lips. And I love that I can wear like a statement lip with these. Like I wore the red a couple of times now, and I love how I don't have to really worry about it like smearing and transferring, and still being able to have like a bold statement glossy lip. And like I said, they just look so good. They feel so good on the lips, and I think that they did such a fantastic job with this formula. And also the packaging is just so cute too. Like this is unlike any other lip product that I have in my collection, and I appreciate that it's different. I like when brands think outside of the box and just try something new. So I was very, very impressed by those. The other lipstick formula that I want to talk about is basically the same thing. It's basically another opaque gloss, and this is the Cream Lip Stains from Udensai. I've been much more into glosses this year, or like opaque glosses. Opaque, comfortable lip products is what I should say. Now, I gotta say, I obviously don't wear these if I'm wearing a mask or anything. If I'm wearing a mask and I'm going somewhere, I'm not gonna put on a lip product. I'm just not. Like, I'm not that kind of person who has a lipstick under my mask. Like, no, screw that. If I'm going somewhere and I plan on taking my mask off when I get to where I'm going, I'll just bring a lip product, you know? Like, it's not that serious. But I love these. I want to show you the colors that are my favorites. This one is in the shade Little Jasmine. This is definitely like the most neutral one. And you will see that I probably should have swatched it next to the Linda Halberg one, but I took that one off. But again, as you can see, very, very opaque formula, and it's definitely on the glossy side. These also just look so good on the lips. I love the formula on these. They also smell really, really nice. I don't even know if I mentioned the smell of these before, but they smell wonderful. I just love these. I think that they are so comfortable, so easy to wear, so easy to apply. And when I first got these, I never really found a formula similar to these. And I think that these are just, if you haven't tried Udensai lip products, especially these ones, I would highly recommend you picking one up if you ever plan on making an order. The next one is in the shade Sweet Tulip, and this is more of like a dark orange. I think this one is just so unique as well. You can see that this is definitely a little bit not stickier, but it doesn't like glide on the way that the Linda Halberg one does. And again, it makes them last for quite some time. Like these are definitely more on like a long wearing type gloss, and I love them. I think that they are just, the colors that they came out with are all just beautiful. I love their whole line. I think that all of the colors in their range is very wearable. Like they don't really have any like crazy colors. And sometimes I appreciate that, you know, like especially for a gloss. I don't want anything too crazy in an opaque gloss. Like I just want something that's easy to wear, and I feel like these are very easy. Again, looks great on the lips, and I just think that they are a great formula. Let's talk about some single shadows that I've been loving this year, because I had to include some single shadows, and I have 3 brands here, I think. Let's see what is in this first palette. So let me also talk about these palettes from Adept. I've bought like 4 of these now. Like, these are the large croc, is that what they're called? I'm not sure, but these are just beautiful. Like, the quality of these palettes are amazing, and they can also store a ton of shadows, and I just love them. So first off, we have all of my Shine by SD shadows. I did a full brand review on these, and I did 5 looks. I will link that video in the corner if you want to check it out. It was a sponsored video, but I mean, I love their shadows, so they're just so beautiful. Especially like the lighter ones down here. These are the Reserve collection. Love these. These are beautiful inner corner shades, but you can also build them up to be very, very nice and opaque and intense. And they're just so shiny and so glittery and so sparkly and just so yummy. I love them. And also all of these up here are the Dynamic Duos. Beautiful, beautiful shadows, so shiny and wet looking on the lids, and they're just wonderful. I just love this brand so much. I think that their shadows are spectacular, and I'm so happy that they're getting a little more time to shine and time in the spotlight and people talking about them now, because they really deserve it. Another brand that I've been absolutely obsessed with this year is Terra Cosmetics. I know I haven't like done any separate videos with these, but these are the kind of colors that I kind of reach into when I'm not filming, or if I'm like pulling in from somewhere else. It tends to be like some of these shadows, because I think again they're just so beautiful. This shade up here is a multi-chrome. It is a green to blue to purple or something like that. I mean, look at that shine. Isn't that just so stunning? It's so hard to show off multi-chromes on camera, but just trust me when I say that the formula of Terra Moon's eyeshadows are amazing. So I love these. These are definitely some shadows that if I lost these, I would repurchase them, because I love them so much. And the same could be said for all of my Clionadh shadows. I do have to mention them. Like, if I'm not filming my makeup, I find myself always going to my palettes for mattes, and then I always pull from my singles when it comes to my shimmers. Especially the stained glass shimmers from Clionadh. I think these are like the crown jewel of my collection, and I feel like everybody says that about this collection, but I mean, they really are spectacular, and they're so much better than, I wouldn't say so much better anymore than other brands, because other brands have definitely caught up and are still making like shadows just as good as Clionadh, but these were like the first multi-chromes that I ever got, and they're just so good. Like, these are what I basically compare every shimmer to these days, and nothing really lives up to them, because these are just everything. They're so, so, so good. And I hope that next year maybe I can find a way to just incorporate a little bit more of my singles into my regular content. Let me know if you have any ideas of like how to do that, because sometimes it's hard to like pull from my singles, because singles videos just don't really do that good, which is really a shame. But I do want to find a way to, I don't know, try to pull these into videos that maybe do better. I don't know how to do that yet, but I need to find a way, because I do want to try to showcase them more often, because they deserve it. They're just so good. Okay, so last up, I have a little bit of skincare to talk about, and I also have a very random thing that I just wanted to throw in because I've been so obsessed with these, and these are Dashing Diva nails. I know I've talked about these in the past, but this is like all I've been wearing on my nails for the past 3 months, ever since I tried the gloss formula. I got their gloss formula sent from Octoly a while ago. I did review them in a video. It's what I'm wearing today. These are basically just like stickers that you stick onto your nails, and you file off the excess, and then you just have a perfect nail polish. Like, it's just great. This is just a random set that I pulled out of my drawer. I have so many of these, you guys. I've gone so crazy on Dashing Diva's website. I still have an order coming that I'm waiting for, because they keep coming out with new fun things. And I also like changing up my my nails more often, so I definitely don't get as much use out of these as I could if I didn't take them off before they started to come off, you know? So these are supposed to last for 2 weeks. I usually have mine on for like a week or so, and then I get impatient and I peel them off and I put on something else. But I just love the designs they have, and I love how easy they are. I just think that it's such a fun thing. Like, it makes doing my nails fun, and I also don't have to wait for polish to dry, which I hate. And speaking of not having to wait for polish to dry, I've also gotten so into their press-on nails. Usually what I do is I'll wear the press-on nails, and then when I take these off, sometimes my nails need a little bit of a break before I put on a new pair, because it is a little bit of a hassle to take off press-on nails, because I don't know, it's just a little rough on your nails. So I tend to put on like a gloss set in between the next time I put on press-on nails. And I've just been loving these. I mean, I can get these nails to last for like 2 weeks. Like, they just don't pop off on me. I don't know what it is. You don't need glue. You basically just stick them on, and that is why I like them. I don't like having to use like a separate glue or like separate glue tabs or like separate anything to put my nails on. Like, these are great. You just kind of peel off the little thing on the back and you like put it straight on your nail, and that's it. And they're just great. I love all the designs they have. I love that they have different lengths, because sometimes I want to have like shorter nails, you know, because I'm not the kind of person who likes to do things with long nails. Like, long nails to me is more of a special occasion type thing, or if I can't be bothered, or if I don't want to wear them for that long. But I love their shorter ones. I don't think I pulled out a short pair, but their shorter pairs are just great. And I love just the way that this brand in particular fit on my nails. They just fit perfectly. And I've tried some other brands of nails as well since I started trying these to just kind of compare, and like, none of the fits have been as good as Dashing Diva. I don't know, I feel like they just fit my nails very nicely and they just look really good on me. I also did sign up for their affiliate program, so I'll have an affiliate link underneath my link where you can find these if you're interested in picking anything up. It'll just be in my description box. The last thing I want to talk about is, like I said, some skincare. I have been on Good Molecules list, for PR list I should say, for quite some time now, for a year, but I've basically tried most things in their line. There's a couple of items that they haven't sent me, but I have been using so many of their products, and when their Black Friday sale came around, I made such a big order. Like, I basically stocked up for probably the next year, because I'm the kind of person, I hate spending money on skincare. And if I find something that works, I don't want to bother trying to find like something better. I don't want to like shop around for skincare. I don't want to try new things. I just want to use what works, and all of this stuff just works great for me. I just love their stuff. So I will show you the favorites from their line that I've gotten. So I need to start off with their hyaluronic acid serum. I mean, it is what it is, you know, it's nothing fancy, but it's super affordable and it just feels really nice on the skin, and I feel like it does what it's supposed to do. Now, I have to preface this by saying I'm not a skincare expert. I don't know a lot about skincare. All I know is that my skin likes this stuff and it's been looking better since I started using them, and I can't really give credit to like specific products, but I just know that my skin likes this, and that's really all I have to go by. So I also want to say that I have oily skin. I don't know if that really means anything. I don't know if like skin type has that much to do with like serums and stuff when it comes to skincare. Really only like moisturizers and stuff like I'm not really sure. I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about this. I've also been really enjoying their niacinamide serum. I think this is great as well. This is basically what I use every night. I use the niacinamide and I use the hyaluronic acid serum. I also use their toner, which I love. This is their niacinamide brightening toner. This is my favorite toner from them. Can you tell that I stocked up because all of these are still in the boxes because I just got them? I spent like over $120 and they had a 40% off sale. Like, that tells you, I think, how many things I ended up getting. It was absurd, but I was like, I'm just gonna buy all of these things now so I don't have to buy them again later. So the last thing I want to talk about is their Rosewater Daily Cleansing Gel. When I first got this, I wasn't sure if I would like it, but I gotta say, this has become one of my favorite products from Good Molecules. And what I love about this is that it's a cleanser that comes in a pump, and I love pumps. I hate skincare that comes in like tubs. I just can't. Like, I love their cleansing balm as well. It's really, really nice. It dissolves your makeup perfectly, but I just prefer to not have to put my fingers in open jars all the time, especially when you have like water on your face, and it's just messy and I hate it. So how I take off my makeup is I first go in with a pure oil cleanser to take my makeup off, and then I use this one as my second cleanser. And it just works great. Like, after double cleansing, all of my makeup is off, and this is just beautiful. It's very, very gentle. It doesn't like irritate my eyes or anything, and it gets off like whatever oil I have on my skin and whatever maybe makeup the oil didn't completely dissolve. I just think this is great, and again, it has a pump. I just love it, especially when my face is wet, and I just, you know, I don't want to bother like getting into something else. This is just really, really nice. It's a big, big bottle. It lasts for quite some time, and I just really like it. So those were all of the Good Molecules products that I wanted to just mention. I also do have an affiliate link with them now as well that will give you 10% off. I will leave, of course, I will leave all of it down below in my description box if you want to go check out anything. So I think those were all of my favorites. Those really are like all of my favorites. I don't think any of you were surprised really by any of these, and I've just had such a good time this year playing with all of these products, and I cannot wait till next year and see if something better comes around, because these are like the top of the top that I'm going to be comparing everything else that comes out to, and it's going to be tough to be beating these products because all of these products are absolutely amazing. So let me know if you tried any of these. Let me know if this is anything that you would want to pick up in the future. Is there anything that you was surprised by that you never heard of maybe that you want to try now? Let me know. I would also love to hear what your #1 favorite indie brand product of the year is. I know that is very tough, but I'd love to know because maybe you would tell me about something that I've never heard of that I can check out. So let me know your favorite down below in the comments. That's gonna be it for today's Annette-mas episode. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.